Hey guys, it's me, my face, and like a YouTube-a-palooza of a video today. This week's Happy Dance is brought to us by wine, because it's October, and it is Halloween week, and I wanted it. Those are all the reasons I need. And we are drinking out of the Ray Dunn, I don't know if you can see, treat glass. Last night I was drinking from the Trick glass, so I thought I would balance things out. Ooh, it's been a long time since I had Sunday wine. It's not a church comment. If you are new here, my name is Andrea, and this is a channel about cross-stitch and crafting and cats and wine and beer, my opinions, my hair. Let's take a minute with the hair and anything else I come up with. If you're a returning visitor, you know all this. Thank you for coming back. I managed to be a busy bee for the past couple of weeks. I have 2 new starts. 2. I worked on a whole bunch of projects. I managed to get, I'm going to say 97% of my indoor Halloween decorating done. And that is actually going to be tacked on to the end of this video, so stick around for that. Let's just jump into the stitching. The first thing I worked on is Harvest Time. This is from SubRosa Design. And I finished the pile of pumpkins. And I got a little bird done. And I started on the house over here. Y'all, this house could kill me. This house could be the end for me. It's not difficult to do that every other thing, but there's supposed to be white in between those. Not entirely sure I'm going to do the white. I don't know. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Cut that out. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all the black and see what it looks like. And then decide if I'm going to do the white in between. I'm like 75% sure I'll end up doing it just because I will feel like it's incomplete otherwise. But I mean, it's coming out so good. So good. The next thing I worked on is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. This is from, holy crap, Carriage House. Really? Wow. Okay, the wine. We can't blame the wine. I made some good... Did I allude to something about being done with this block by the time this video? I don't know. I don't know. Blame the wine. I don't know. That did not happen, clearly. But I did get a lot of this second witch done. And she is coming out delightful. Fun story. You see how, let me see if I can point it out. This witch's hair over here. You see how there's some subtle kind of highlight variegation in her hair? I said to myself, you must have used a variegated floss, probably a Threadworks, because I subbed out some other Threadworks in other places. But all the Threadworks that were in the bag, or the project bag. This lives in a project bag. None of them look like that. And I sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I will skip the hair for now until I figure out what I used on the other witch. And then I was like, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll just pick something totally different and do different hair on that witch, because I had thought about making her a redhead. I had thought about making her a little purple at the end, many thoughts. So I spent way too much time trying to figure out what it is I did to get her hair to look like that, until I finally consulted the pattern and found that it's two different color solid DMCs. That her hair, if I just use the called for, see where that negative space is? Those will be a different color. And that's why it'll look like that. And I spent a good half hour, 45 minutes on this little conundrum. I could have been stitching. But no, I was fooling around with her hair. So at least I know it's going to come out nice and it's going to look correct and all the things and stuff. But I'm falling back in love with this one. This is actually kind of, I would say technically halfway done, because I've got the entire top done. So that's 4 panels. I've got the panel over here. This is a double one and I'm half done with it. So really it's half, another panel, and then 4 more down here. And I'm done. I mean, I could live that long. Conceivably. If I start taking care of myself. Right? The next thing I worked on is Templar Prophecy. This is from Long Dog Samplers. And I am just trucking along. I feel like I filled in a little more over here. And then I filled in around this bird. But I don't feel like I put a lot of time into this. And I think this may have been something that I was working on while I was trying to watch something else. And I just did not get very far with it. So I felt like I stitched on it all night. But then when I looked at it, I was like, what have you done? How many strands have you gone through? Seriously, how many strands? Not very many. But it's perking along. It's going to get done eventually. Part of me the other night wanted to work on the back stitching that is in the horse's, I was about to say dress. I don't believe we put dresses on horses. You certainly can. I'm not going to judge. You be a pretty princess. But anyway, this back stitching there. I didn't do it yet. But probably will for next time because it looks intriguing. The next thing I worked on is this big old thing. This is SEEDY Pumpkin Cottage from Praiseworthy Stitches. And I got a fair amount of the tree finished. There were a lot of these, like I hadn't continued out all the branches, so I cleaned that up. This is the end of a page. This is kind of the start of a new page. So I started on the roof line. My goal is to get this done all the way across, mostly so I can sleep at night and know that my fabric is wide enough, but also so that I can scroll up some more. This is not, I know that it's not terribly tight because there isn't a whole lot for it to grab onto yet. Also, I'm pretty sure that I put this on a little catawampus. It's a word. And so the actual frame is a little kind of warped. So I want to get this kind of scrolled up and a little tighter and easier to work on. I'm having a real struggle. Like a real struggle with the paper pattern. And I think it's mostly because I'm working from the original, so I'm not making marks on it. I really do just have to get over and get it copied. I may even take a little trip into my corporate office, maybe in the coming week, and do what I would normally have done, which is copy it onto the big tabloid size paper so that you can see everything. The thing I'm having trouble with, jumping between, I have the paper pattern, but I took a picture of each one, and that's kind of what I've been working off of, is trying to get them to line up. There are shaded areas, where pages overlap. But some of these are like In the shaded area, there's 2 stitches, and it's tough to figure out where those 2 stitches lined up on the tree in the previous, yeah. So I kind of want to get something a little, I want to say like heavier established, so that as I move between pages, it's clearer where I am, so that I don't get out of hand with this tree. On the other hand, that variegation, look at it. Look at it. Ask me what color it is. It might be brown bear brown. You know where to look for the information when I figure it out. So this is like great tree thread. I'm a little obsessed. End sentence. I'm a little obsessed with how my variegation goes on something like this. Like if I stop mid-branch, I want to start the next thread in the same color area that I ended in. So, you know, a lot of times what you end up doing is running through a length and then kind of inverting the next length so that you start with what was the end color and then go that way. Am I making any sense at all? Is this thing on? I think I'm making sense. So yeah, what I'm getting at is a fair amount of my time is spent with the ends of threads and figuring out where they line up with the next color so that it looks right to me. And then later, when you look at the tree, you can tell that it probably makes 0 difference. 0. 0. I'm doing it anyway. Did I mention I'm in love with this project? I mentioned I'm in love with all my projects. It's going to get awkward. The next thing I worked on is a new start, and I am kicking its butt. This is Halloween Towne from Raise the Roof Designs. I purchased this, I want to say about a year or so ago from Kitten Stitcher. It was actually a retired pattern that she brought back to sell as like a charity kind of thing. She donates to her local animal shelter. And so I started this less than a week ago. I don't know what that face was. Less than a week ago. And look how much I've done. And it looks so good. This is 18 count Swamp Thing, which I believe was hand dyed by my stitchy godmother, Laura. And she sent it to me, and this is awesome. It has lent itself to so many things. And I just think this looks so good on it. I can't tell if that's in focus. The threads, I think it was charted all in, I think, Belsois silk, which is, yeah, but no, I don't have that. So I subbed out everything for Weeks and Classic Colorworks, except for I did have one Belsois. It wasn't the right one. I think it called for Belsois Onyx, maybe. And what I had is Noir. So I'm using that for the black, and it looks so good. Look at that little lamppost. I have forgotten the luxury of stitching with silk. I'm getting a little spoiled. Not gonna lie. In love with this project. In love. The last thing I worked on is another new start. I know. This I actually purchased ages ago. This is Kathy Barrick, Heaven and Nature Sing. And I only made just the smallest of starts. But I don't even know what I was doing one night, sitting here. And I was like, I'm going to kit something. I'm just going to pick colors and do things. And all of a sudden I was starting something. This is 40 count mallow. And I love this fabric. I've used it a whole bunch of times and I just don't think you can go wrong with it. But I purchased this piece for this pattern. It has to be 3 years ago. 3 or 4 years. If I can figure out when I bought it, I will put it up there. But I did not purchase the threads to go with it. So everything is pretty much pulled from stash. So this is right in the middle. So this is the color of the actual big reindeer stag aminal thing. I'm not, and that's his little flippy tail, because I had to do something. He's up here telling me which side is up, but I had to do something that made this pattern directional so that I would have known where I was, because that is a big animal. And I think this line here is 38 stitches across, and it's still only like halfway across the animal. I was not going to know where I was. So I had to do something. So I stitched out to his little butt and made his tail. I love this pattern. I know. It's getting tedious. I know. But I wanted to start something Christmassy. Obviously, this isn't going to be done for Christmas, probably in any year. But at least I started it. And this is a paper pattern. It is a paper pattern. So, you know, the fun will just keep going with the paper patterns. So that's about it for the stitching. I do have some haul, but it was mostly home decor and Halloween haul. So you're actually going to see that in the next segment, which is my kind of Halloween decoration walkthrough. And as I walk through the house, even if it was like a not Halloween thing that I bought recently, I pointed it out because I won't say my new goal, it's kind of always been my goal to have a spooky house year round. Generally, I'm the spookiest thing in the house. I would like to change that. So I was specifically looking for some things to hang up that could stay year round, but also lent themselves to sort of being decorated as well for Halloween. You will, obviously see that in a couple of minutes. I was also super productive. I purchased, received, made out, and mailed some Halloween cards. It was only like 9 of them, but I did it. I planned to do it, and I executed it. They are being delivered. I have gotten, a confirmation that people received them. I did a thing. Start to finish, I did a thing. This means that potentially, please don't quote me on it, I might be able to do other things. I know. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Drink some wine and calm down. I don't want to calm down. It was good fun. So, because my walkthrough is extensive and is actually exporting right now, it says it's going to take 3 hours to export. So I did a fair amount of walking around. I got steps in. Who am I? I will cut this off here and we will jump to the walkthrough and I will be right back. Hey guys, I am just taking a little break from my Saturday night stitching to go through some of my Halloween decorations. I actually put up more than I think I even realized this year. I also not made a couple of things, but as we go through, I will talk about them. Let's just start here. My fortune teller palmistry sign. I got this at Michael's, probably 3 or 4 years ago. And a lot of my house is like, you can see these windows here. I have a lot of these narrow little spaces between windows, and that just seemed custom made to go right in there. And then over here we have a grapevine wreath that stays up all year. And I got this little bat skeleton. I almost want to say that was at the dollar store or maybe the Family Dollar. But I just propped him up in there along with, this was actually a Celtic knot Christmas ornament that also stays out all year because I just like it. And I got a couple of new candles this year. This is pumpkin pancakes. A couple of years ago, I got pumpkin waffles, and that was amazing. It continues to be amazing, but it's almost gone. So pumpkin pancakes, you can actually see I've used up a lot of that. That, I want to say I got maybe at Target. Where did I get it? Opal House. It doesn't say. There's no tag on it. But I got that. And then I got Midnight Bonfire is actually from Walgreens. And it smells actually a little perfumey. It's not really a fall smell, but it has that smoky campfire smell to it. And I really enjoy that. Next thing we get to is my little coffin-shaped skeleton. I believe that was a Michael's purchase, probably again a few years ago. And he just fits there as if custom made. I'm going to back up a bit here because what we're going to do, this is kind of the area that I consider my quote-unquote mantle, because I don't actually have like a fireplace or anything. But past couple of years, rather than putting a lot of knickknacks up there, it's mostly all just been birds. And I just think that looks really good. It's really kind of simple. It's easy to put up. It's easy to maintain. It's easy to add to if I find birds that I like. And otherwise, it's just kind of makes you think like you were sitting here watching television and all of a sudden all these birds just showed up. Along with that, there's the little styrofoam skulls and pumpkins. Those are probably from Michael's in years past. I love this kitty up here. Look at him. He's so scared. Look at him. Next to him is actually a frame that I recently got at Savers, which is kind of a local thrift department store. I think it's probably closest to like a Goodwill kind of place. And so I found that frame, and the picture that's in it is actually a print that we got, I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago in Salem. And we have that one and actually another one also, whoops, in a thrifted frame. I'm a little short to show you all this. This frame, I could fit it in there with the glass in the frame, so that's why there's a bit of a glare. That one does not have glass and actually looks better. And we have our Beware little wall hanging. And while I was stitching tonight, I was actually watching Supernatural. I am almost season 10. I want to say, did it go like 14, 15 seasons, something like that? So I still have a ways to go. We have the chrome skull. He stays out year round. And I think the Counting Crows, which I just bought at Michael's today, because 50% off, also is probably going to stay out all year. Over here, we have a little spooky gazebo. Please excuse the dust. So we have a little spooky gazebo and a skull plate. And in here, I just dropped some purple and black flowers because I had some purple and black flowers and didn't have any place to put them. So that's where they went. This is the table that we have behind the large sofa. And you can see we have a little ghosty. We have what's actually like a mug rack, but I hang things from it. Like you can see there's a little Halloween ornament, and it is decorated with leaves and a little bird on top. And actually today I just bought these lights, and they blink or they twinkle. They have about like 8 settings. Kind of like that. We've got some pumpkins and 2 little mouse witchies. I love the mouse witchies. They are some of my favorites. We have a bird candelabra. Kind of a retro Halloween sign. I want to say that was also like Michael's 2-3 years ago. The dragon stays out year round. That is actually Mark's, and usually we would move it off of this table to set up, but he just kind of stayed behind this year, and he looks great with all the other decorations, so why move him? This is a new 3-tiered tray that I got at Target this year, and I really just sort of filled it in with some foam pumpkins and flowers and my little crazy kitty, a skull, and it has its own little bird topper. So that came out wicked cute. Over here we have a few shelves. These are my spooky carolers. Those were gifts from my sister one year. I want to say maybe Christmas, maybe anniversary, not sure which. The tree with the little votive candle cups, that I believe we got at Yankee Candle like years ago. We have a couple of ghosties and a jack-o'-lantern picture. And up there, also I think from Yankee Candle, is my little black kitty with his curly tail. How cute is he? My God, you could die. Here we have the coffee table, which is covered with some sort of schmutz. I'm not sure what. There's a cat in the house, and that's how life goes. But this is a 3-tiered tray that I also found at Savers just recently. And so I put some creepy cloth and some little doodads on it. And that is going to stay out year round and be decorated just seasonally. They came out so cute. Look at this guy. He's hiding. He's like a little bondage ghosty. That's okay. That's fine. I don't judge. But yeah. And this is a glass pumpkin that I've actually had for like decades. Probably 20 years at this point. I think my mom found it somewhere and got it for me. And so I love him. Next we have another kind of behind the couch table that we have done some decorating on. I have a little spooky tree from Target. And this is actually like a 2-tier fruit bowl kind of dealie, but I put some pumpkins and leaves and another little bird. I actually bought the little birds today at Michael's. Again, 50% off. Who's going to argue? This is another new candle, and this is bourbon pumpkin. Not as good as the pumpkin pancakes, but pretty darn good. My very dusty apothecary jar that has pine cones and moss and some little tiny lights in it. The battery is actually dying on this, so that's why they are so dim, but they're usually a little brighter. This is another bird sitting on top of a skull with some books. That was probably like a Home Goods TJ Maxx kind of buy. Maybe 2-3 years ago. And my fun little lantern with some styrofoam pumpkins. And a table runner, which I either got at maybe Christmas Tree Shop or maybe TJ Maxx, again, like years ago. This is actually a wreath that I made. I'm not, you know, overly excited about it, but there it is. It has spiders on it because I'm terrified of spiders, and they say that you should make things or surround yourself with things that frighten you a little because, I don't know, that's what they say. Maybe to honor them, to respect them, either way, they're there. Just so you can see, during the holiday seasons, Mark's Dragons get put up there so that we can decorate. This is actually just a little side shelf that, as a rule, will just have those stars on it. And for Halloween, we put up another little tin star, or tin sign. Look how creepy. Look at Daddy Long Legs. Ah! So creepy. In the kitchen, this guy is brand new this year. We got that at... Oh my goodness, I don't remember. If I can remember, I will put it up on the screen, but otherwise, super cute. We moved some things around, so my usual, this black cat plate is up year round. I don't like it up that high. It's like way up on the wall, but it's just kind of there because I bought a whole bunch of other things and I needed spaces for that. So things got moved around. This is the baker's rack in my kitchen, and it has some lace over it with a little witch and a plate that I got years ago from Christmas tree shop. Has some faux pumpkins that I actually just bought today. We're going to try carving those in the next couple of days. It has my spooky metal haunted house, I love. I got that at Home Goods easily 25 years ago. Easily. We have a couple of Halloween mugs. We have the oh so trendy Halloween gnomes this year that I got at Home Goods, TJ Maxx, you know, the places. And he is adorable. Another little plate that I got at Christmas tree shop forever ago. These little tea-dyed ghosts I got, I don't know if you are local. Building 19 was kind of a surplus store, maybe like an Ocean State Job Lot or a Big Lots kind of place. And they had those, again, easily 25 years ago. And I have had these little tea-dyed guys ever since. I think they're adorable. This is a frame you might actually recognize. I had gotten 2 oval frames because I wanted to put, oh goodness, it's a Teresa Kogut. I'll put the picture up. I had wanted to put that in there and it didn't fit and I was grumpy about it. But I was just sitting there with these frames and trying to do some decorating and I thought, why not put just a little fabric in the frame and be done with it and call it a decoration? And look at it! Look at them! They're adorable. I probably got that fabric 4 or 5 years ago at Joann's as a fat quarter. And all I did was tuck it in there. I don't even think, I may have used double-sided tape just to hold the edges down, but otherwise I can pop that right back out and do whatever I want with it. But I love how it came out. And then up here in this corner, this stays year-round. This is our offering and our little kind of devotional area to Mother Bast. She helps to take care of Dante. And, you know, I should have looked up the name ahead of time. This statue on the left is an unbelievably generous gift. And if I can find her name handy, I will put it up on the screen. Look at it. It's perfect here. It's a perfect devotional. I think my recording cut off. I was saying that we have the altar here because this is where Dante eats. Do you see that bowl? That girl was hungry tonight. Like, hungry. But we like to have Mother Bast, keeping an eye on her while she eats. Speaking of Dante, these are pictures of Socks and Dante. First of all, you couldn't get a picture of Socks, apparently, when they were kittens. This is them actually in, like, the house they were born into. They were a coworker of mine. His mother's barn cat had kittens, and that's where we got Socks and Dante. And that's my poor Socksy. He's gone. But when they were little, we used to call her the little fat one. And he actually turned out to be the moose. But yeah, we still have pictures of them as kittens. This is another new purchase from Savers the other day. This kind of shelving unit up here. And so Mark actually hung that up for me, and we put some little like apothecary bottles and a votive candle, a little creepy cloth, a little sign. And actually that cloth laying over it, I wanted to use as a tablecloth for one of those behind the couch tables, but I didn't want to clear off one of them and the other one already had the table runner on it, so I just put it up there because it's cute. As we head to the stairway, we have another little sign, probably from either a Christmas tree shop or maybe even Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, one of those places. And this is actually not Halloween related, but this is a wrought iron clock that I got at Savers the other day. I'm either going to, I think the clock works, it just doesn't have batteries, but it's missing the pendulum. So I don't know if I'm going to try to figure out a new pendulum or maybe pop that clock out of there and put something else interesting there. But I thought it looked nice here at the bottom of the stairs. Oh, now we head up the stairs. Does anyone remember, long ago, I bought this 3-piece, or like these, it's 1 piece, but it's 3, oh, nice job, Andrea. Oh, I'll fix it later. I had bought this and I was going to do a pattern. I was going to do Maiden, Mother, and Crone and put it in here, and I never did because... have we met? But what I did do this year, I actually sent out some Halloween cards. I know, imagine. So I took some of them and I put them in this frame, and I think this is adorable. And actually what I did was some of these were a little too, I guess, weird. I didn't want to send them to people. This I just thought like is really cool, but it's vaguely Hieronymus Bosch kind of Visions of Hell sort of thing. I'm into that, but not everybody else is. This middle one is wicked cute. I like this. I think I'm pretty sure I sent one version of that out to somebody. But then I couldn't think of anybody who would have really appreciated this one. With the poor little pumpkin and he's getting his eye cut, and it's a little upsetting. I mean, I like it. It's hanging in my house. But yeah, I didn't send that to anybody. I just kept it for me. And then I just put some creepy cloth up there because I have more creepy cloth than anyone has a right to have. So I had to use it. Next thing we get to, is this just decorative doodah thing that will stay year-round. It's another thing that I got at Savers. And all the stuff I got from Savers, like this I think was like $2.99, something like that. So I actually went out and bought a ton of things. I'm sorry, if you can hear me wrestling with something, it's because the wreath on the other side of me here, let's see, this star was like tangled in my hair. And that was upsetting. That I got, I don't even know where I got it, but it's been hanging there for at least 15 years. So it's been there a while. And then we come up here and we get, I don't think I'm going to be able to get that all in one. We'll do that when we get further up. This is a wrought iron candle holder that I wrapped some creepy cloth on. Again, just recently purchased at Savers for like $4.99, something like that. And we come up here. We have a little mercury glass and a little creepy tree. These stay up year round. These little bottles stay on this shelf year round. What I do is I just spin the purple one around, so it's just a purple jar the rest of the year. We have, this guy. Oh, I love this thing. This giant star candle holder is actually from Home Goods 20 years ago, at least. It was one of those things that I didn't even know it existed, and Mark noticed it and said, oh, I'm surprised you didn't want that big star wall hanging for the house. And I was like, wow, what big star wall hanging are you talking about? And he brought me to the aisle, and there this was, and now it came home with us, and it's hung here ever since. And it's like this little area was just made for it. So it's got some creepy cloth. It's got a kitty votive holder. It has a couple little tombstones and just a cool resin figurine. This swirly guy over here was another thing that I got the other day at Savers. And again, it was like $6.99, $7.99. And it's just cool. It's a little odd. It's not something you're going to find just anywhere, which is why I love it. But you can tell by like the fact that like those labels are still in the votive holders. This isn't something that was like used and abused. It was probably something that somebody bought for somebody and they were like, what do you think I'm going to do with that? So, their loss, my gain. Here we are in my kind of poorly lit upstairs hallway. It's not necessarily decorated. It kind of looks this way all year, but like this little shelf up here has a little dragon on it. That dragon usually lives in my office, but what usually lives there is the cat votive that's on the big star hanging in the hallway. So I kind of moved things around. This is an old unfiltered poison sign, probably from Michael's, probably 5 or 10 years ago. Come here. This is one of my prized finishes. This is Kindred Spirits from Primitive Needle. And I have it, I won't call it framed because it's literally just sort of hanging in there. You can see it's like puffy and unironed and whatnot. I never actually kind of finished the shadow box, but this is where it lives. This guy we got at a flea market years ago. He's just good fun. This is just a print of an oil painting. I'm not even sure why I got it. Tiki guy. And look at this guy. This is the second of those oval frames that I had gotten for, the pattern whose name I can't remember. But he looks pretty good in that. I'm going to say that Edgar is not somebody that I really want hanging in the house year round. But up here in the hallway, I think he can hang out. I don't think there's any reason to really take him down after Halloween. So he can hang out there. This, I'm hoping you can see, this is beadwork that my stitchy godmother, Laura, actually made and sent to me. And I am obsessed with it to the point that I need to see it every time I come up here. So I have it in an actual, like a shadow box. And what I did was stitch this Celtic border from a book that she actually sent me. So this little thing right here is just all about Laura. It's really just all about Laura. I love it. This is a funny story. I bought this last year for somebody. I don't know who I bought it for. I got it as a Christmas gift for somebody. But I don't know who I meant to give it to. So it's mine now. Ta-da! This is another shadow box. This is actually a grouping of items that were sent to me by Jay at Mortuary Stitches, who I miss. I used to love her videos. And she was just sweet enough to send me these wonderful things just tucked in cards and stuff. So I put them all together in a little shadow box, and this stays up all year round. I love this. And the last thing on our tour is this little skeleton hanging something or other. He stays up year round, mostly because I hung him up one year and never remembered to take him down. And so he just lives here at the end of the hallway. And it's fine. I do have to move him because that hook is not centered. So I might as well put up a real hook and hang him for real, or maybe take him down this year and replace him with something, you know, a little more evergreen for the rest of the year, and then just bring him back out at Halloween. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my doodads. And now back to our regularly scheduled floss tube. So I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough. It was a lot of fun to just walk through my house and chat about things. I don't usually I don't have like people coming over or anything, so there really isn't anybody else that I get to show my stuff off to. So I'm just really appreciative that I'm able to show that kind of stuff off to you guys. If there's anything you saw that I didn't explain well enough, or you want me to see if I can figure out like where I got it or when, just let me know. I can certainly put in the effort and try to get that done. I did want to show just a couple of things. I mentioned the Halloween cards that I sent out. There were some other patterns that didn't make it into my little, display. So one of them is a little house with the pumpkins, and how cute. This is the creepy one with the stabbing of the eye. It's the jack-o'-lantern machine. And these are they all have the Harlequin background. And they're fun and just weird enough. Hide my face here. That they were interesting without being over the top. Like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was looking at some cards with kind of some really creepy like bones and things, or I was looking at a set that included Baphomet, things like that, which there are people I could send those to, but I certainly didn't need 12 of them, so I ended up not getting those packages. These I thought were a great mix of fun and creepy, and I loved the colors. I loved kind of that vintagey look, and these are going to also look pretty good in, you know, that scrapbook that I keep shoving things in the pages and never actually pasting them down or doing layouts. You know, the one that's supposed to hold my stitching. Yeah, that one. So these might look kind of cute in there as well. And the other thing I wanted to show you is I had put up those two, I don't know if you would call them prints or etchings or drawings or something, but they were the two Salem black and white images that I put in the thrifted frames. I am looking for a third frame for the third one that I have, but I wanted to show that because these are so cute. So cute. And actually, should you want to look them up, this is from the Salem Quill Company in Salem, Mass. And they're adorable. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your likes and even your dislikes. And thank you for your comments. I read every single one of them, and they mean the world to me, as do you. Thank you for being my community, and have a great Halloween. Bye, guys.